Hello, my name is Willie Minnix. I am the author of the Dead Man's Tuning series of books for mandolin, and I also have a new book out called Lyrics and Music, Music Theory for Aspiring Songwriters. But this past week I was able to take a trip to America's Stonehenge, and this is something that's a little different for my channel, but people who know me personally know that I'm kind of into weird, unexplained mysteries. And this is definitely one of those unexplained mysteries. It is in Salem, New Hampshire, and if you're ever in that area, it's really well worth the time to go check it out. This is the brochure that they have, and apparently it's been featured on the History Channel, although I never saw it on the History Channel. I think I ran into it on YouTube. But it is a really cool place, and this is some of the information that they tell you about it. And I think the admission was around maybe $15 or something to get in. It really wasn't that much. We got caught in a thunderstorm, so I wasn't able to do as much filming as I would like to, but I did try to get some really good footage, and I will show you some of that footage in this video too. But what I thought was really neat was in the gift shop, they have lots of historical stuff that they've dug up, and you can look at that. But when you get out to actually see the monuments, it really will blow you away. Nobody really knows who built this or when it was built. There are astronomical connections that they have observed that certain stones line up with certain solstices and things like that. The other thing that's interesting, the guy that owns it has investigated sites in Ireland, and he claims that there are a lot of connections between this site and some of the Irish ones. So here's the layout of the place. There's like a parking lot over here, and you come in to the visitor center and you walk out the back, and there's like an alpaca farm or habitat over here, which was kind of neat, but it was raining by the time we got to the alpacas, so we only got to see them from afar. But anyway, you come down this path and then you enter into where the place actually kind of starts. Now I went into this little cave right here, and I kind of peeked my head around, and I think there may be some video of it, but it apparently goes out. But apparently it goes all the way back here, and then it's blocked off, possibly by a cave-in or something. My thought is there's also a cave here, I think, and maybe they connected at one point. I think those are the cave structures. But anyway, I didn't go that far in. I just took a peek back there because I was carrying too much gear. But there's a double-lined wall right here, and you walk along that, and it leads you right up into the main site. And at one point in the 1800s, there were some people who were part of the Underground Railroad that had a house here, and it burned down, I think, in 1855. And so they found, I think even in this picture, they found like manacles from where they took them off of a slave who had escaped. And so there are some, and then there's like a little place where they found other stuff from there. I think their family's name was the Petit family or something like that. But this book kind of goes over and talks about a lot of the different places that you can look at while you're there, and kind of explains each one. I'm going to show you some pictures, but I just thought I would kind of go through this map and this brochure a little bit, just to let you see what you would get if you go there. And so that's kind of what this is. And then there's the directions. I will say it was a little hard finding Salem, New Hampshire, because our Garmin didn't have a very good lock on it. But I was able to look it up on my son's phone. My phone actually took a bath while we were on vacation, and that wasn't very fun. But anyway, they also have a souvenir book, and I was able to pick up this souvenir book while we were there, and it's actually written by Mr. Dennis Stone, who I believe is the owner of the property that the Stonehenge is on, and I think that's his picture. That's very clear. But this book is really cool because he goes through and he shows all the different formations that are in the place. And again, I have a lot of pictures of these things, but I think it may be the sump pit, or it may be one of the other structures that they found. Oh no, it's yeah, I think it is the sump pit. They found a lot of junk that the Petit family had thrown away over the years, which is really great because it helps date some of the stuff that happened at that time period. Another thing that happened is apparently at one point they used a lot of the rocks as quarry material to build roads and other structures in nearby towns. And sadly, we don't know how much they took away or what it looked like before all those rocks were gone, but I think somewhere in here it talks about the estimated amount of how much rock was actually removed. Oh yeah, I just turned to it. It said somewhere between 20 and 50% of the stones at the main site were removed by quarrymen. So I mean, if this is what's left after 50% of it was taken away, it must have been a truly impressive structure at one point. And so I'm going to cut to some shots that I took when we were about almost finished. A really bad storm kicked up, and we had to kind of run to get back to the building to get out of the storm. But what was nice is too, in the souvenir shop they have lots of neat stuff, and I was able to pick up this fossil there that they had polished up, and I think it was like $5 or $6. And I thought it was kind of neat because I'm always talking about the golden ratio in music, and this is a good example of the golden ratio in nature, and it follows that pattern just like a nautilus would. And I forget what they called this shell. I should have written it down, but I forgot. But anyway, that's it, and I'm going to show you a lot of video to kind of go with what I'm talking about. One of the things that I thought was just so cool about the whole place is that it has they've proven that it lines up astronomically with Stonehenge in England, and with a lot of the different solstices, and I'm not an expert on a lot of this stuff, even though I did take an astronomy class. I didn't do very well in it, but I like learning about that stuff. But it totally lines up, so it was like probably a really big clock. And again, nobody knows who built it. They think it dates back to about 20,000 BC. Or not 20,000, 2000 BC. I got that totally wrong. They think it dates back to about 2000 BC. But the person that originally preserved this place, his name's around here somewhere and I forget, but he speculated that monks from Ireland were escaping from Vikings, and they came over to this, they got lost somehow in their travels and ended up in New Hampshire, and they built this place. Well, it turns out that this structure is far older than the Catholic Church, so there's no way that monks could have come to build it. But it could be possible that Celtic people may have made it over to America somehow, because according to Mr. Stone, it does line up and is very similar to a lot of the structures that are found in Ireland and other places where the Celtic people may have lived. So I thought it was pretty cool. I hope you enjoy these videos, and I hope that you get a chance to go check it out yourself. Have a great day.